Before we get into it, I do want to say one thing. I think I forgot to even tell Zach this. We had an anonymous donor again to buy me a coffee.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know who it was. They didn't sign their name.
Oh.
So whoever it was, thank you.
Thank you.
It's support like that that makes it possible for us to do a lot of the things that are coming in the pipeline, such as remote interviews, which you'll see the first one next week.
A lot of cool remote interviews coming.
Yes. So thank
in the
you.
near future.
We really appreciate that. All right. That being said, we need to get down to the business.
Let's
Down
never
to
mind,
business.
that is not a Jack. We are here for Jack
Summary
Black
of
movies.
each movie.
Yes.
Okay.
But didn't you wanna? You wanted to.
Yeah. I thought before we could even begin talking about the movie, since this is our inaugural Jack Black episode, we could each discuss how we were first introduced to Jack Black. I was having a hard time figuring out exactly my first piece of Jack Black media that I consumed, but I do think I remember. I don't know the exact one, but I think like back in my middle school days on the internet, the Tenacious D like soundboards. Remember that where the drive-through, the Tenacious D
Yes.
drive-through skit where they would prank call people using the soundboard. I
Yes.
think that was my first Jack Black experience.
And that's when you fell in love.
Oh yeah, well I had no idea who he was. I didn't know he was like an actor. I didn't know anything about him. I was like, who's this dude ordering nuggets? And being like, I only want 4 nuggets, not 6. All right, give me half Coke, half Diet Coke. I'm trying to watch my figure. And then he orders like 100 things, but he's trying to watch his figure. And then Kyle Gass orders 2 things, and they pull up and he's like, hey, you got any money, man? Man, I got like $10. All right, cancel those last 2 things. So then I was like, all right, this dude's really funny. And then I heard the music, and I was like, wow, this dude can actually like really sing.
Yeah, he really is a fantastic musician. They both are.
Yeah.
Interaction with Jack Black, Libre.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Really?
Yeah.
yeah, because I don't know. I was fairly young when that came out. Still,
Yeah. What was that like?
and
That was high school days.
I don't know. I mean,
I want to say late 2000s.
I can
probably, right?
I can look it up. I mean, we can IMDb it.
Pre 2010, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think I was like a young teen, wasn't I? Not sure.
I know I
2006.
2006.
Yes.
I'll be old.
Which tracks. So that was. I'm almost certain that was it. And I mean, like, from the moment he said, "I've had the diarrhea since Easter's," I was.
You were like,
I was
I'm
pretty.
sold.
And so yeah. What about you?
Mine was School of Rock.
Okay.
School of Rock was my first introduction to Jack Black. And
Which
it
came
was
first?
also, I think that came out, 2003?
Right around then, I think. Yeah.
So
Oh, then maybe School of Rock was mine. I just don't remember.
I think School of Rock came out like 03, 04. Let's see.
I know I didn't watch that right when it came out.
Oh, it was
Like, a couple
2003.
years.
And so
Me too, but
I was like, that was also close to the time that I was kind of starting to get into music.
Yeah.
So I loved that movie. Like I'd never seen Jack Black in anything, and just his like his goofy style and everything, and kind of over the top antics. I loved it. And then a few years later, and I grew up on the border, and this is what I tell people a lot, because I know a lot of people that absolutely hated Nacho Libre, and I'm like, for someone that grew up on the border in Hispanic culture, like, that movie was so popular. It was so funny. Like, it was hilarious. And so also after School of Rock is when I found Tenacious D. And so it was very quickly, all of a sudden I became like a Jack Black fan. And I've been a fan ever since.
That's what I like most about him is I feel like he could have been like a rock star, but he also just refused to grow up. So he's like half rock star, half silly dude who just does funny, like, potty humor stuff.
Right. Like, he's in his 50s and still pulls like dumb pranks and stuff like
exactly.
that.
that was good.
Good.
What else you got? Did you have something else? Or you
I
gonna
was
sprinkle
I was
things
gonna
in?
sprinkle some
All
fun
right.
facts in for
All
you.
right.
But
Fun
I'd also
facts
like to shout
about
out
Jack.
Jack Black's YouTube channel because it is also really hilarious. It's called Jablinski Gang. started out, I think, like during COVID, and it was gonna be like he was gonna stream video games, and that lasted about like 2 episodes, and then he just started like vlogging his life and him messing with his kids and filming movies and stuff. So you should check that out too. It's really funny.
Jablinski's Games.
Jablinski Games, yeah.
Jablinski.
Huh.
Yeah, maybe we'll collaborate with him sometime.
That's the dream, right?
Mr. Black. If you'd like to come on the My Life, Your Life Together.
Oh, that's a
podcast.
Brad Pitt movie. Mr. Black? Or is it Meet Joe Black?
I think it's Meet.
Oh, it's Meet Joe Black. Never mind. Shut up. Everybody be quiet. All right. Guys, what movies are we comparing? What did the wheel tell us?
Kung Fu Panda
Juan.
The Wheel of Destiny.
versus.
Oh, Gulliver.
Gulliver.
I can't talk.
We'll edit that out.
Gulliver's Travels.
No, we won't. Gulliver's Shut. Yes.
Jack Black's version of Gulliver's Travels.
I'd never seen either one of these.
I'd never seen either one of these movies either.
What?
Yeah, that's what my wife said.
What?
Yeah, I never see.
How have y'all not seen Kung Fu Panda?
I know
I
that
don't-
movie was like huge.
So Kung Fu Panda. Only Kung Fu Panda 1, the OG is on the
The
wheel.
original.
2, 3, and any that come after
Is
that
he
are not.
in all of them?
Yes.
Yep.
He's the main character of all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's his name in it?
Poe.
Poe.
Poe, that's right.
Poe the Panda.
Thought you took notes.
I did, but I didn't like write down his name.
The characters.
Oh yeah,
When
I didn't
say
write
took
down names
notes,
for
I
anybody.
have like 5 things written down.
You're like, that was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I didn't.
pretty much what I did. I was like, oh, that part I thought was really funny.
So I had heard that Kung Fu Panda was great, and I had heard that Gulliver's Travels was terrible. And, watching it back, first Gulliver's Travels, what a stupid name for something.
Yeah.
Was it a book first, or
Well,
was it like that
I know-
1939 movie?
I think it came out. I don't know if it was a
I
book first. Or
think
not,
it was
but I
a-
know that
I'm-
was a
I'm-
super old movie.
Hold on. We'll find out. I'm pretty positive it was a book first. Then
Here to say than Gulliver.
Yeah.
Gulliver's Travels.
I remember when this movie came out. I really wanted to see it,
2010.
but I never saw it. So
Mm.
this was my first time 2 days.
Yes. And I'm glad we didn't have to pay $14 to watch
I
it.
actually kind of liked it, but we'll get to that later.
So I guess we want to start out with, like you said, an overview of each movie. And then
Yeah.
we'll move on to our base impressions, and then we'll get down to the scoring.
Yeah.
And do like things we liked about.
So just some Gulliver's Travels facts.
Mm-hmm.
It was a satirical novel from 17.
Who wrote it? Anybody? else?
Jonathan Swift.
I actually think I heard that as a Jeopardy question recently. This 18th century satirist. I did just hear this yesterday. But I had no idea who he was or that he wrote Gulliver's Travels.
That's
Anyway.
what an awesome thing to have.
Yeah.
Like the day before we record this,
Yeah.
Jeopardy. That's awesome. Who wants to give me an overview of Gulliver's Travels, or do you want me to do it?
Go for it.
Okay, I have no idea. I didn't pay attention. No. So Jack Black plays Lemuel.
A loser.
Hold on.
There.
Was he a loser, or was he just somebody who was vibing through life?
Well, I will say that he was vibing through life, but he also was just somebody who didn't live up to his full potential.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Kind of like me in middle school and high school. Not necessarily a loser, just somebody who didn't really try that hard. in
That's
life.
good. Okay, you're a realist.
Yeah, I've
I
grown
dig
up
it.
since then, but I'll admit it.
So he plays the titulatura character, Lemuel Gulliver, and
He works in the mailroom.
who's giving the overview?
I'm just helping out.
Do I need help? I do need help.
Sometimes.
So,
So-
he works in the mailroom at some
Some
company.
newspaper or magazine or something.
I
like
believe
that,
it's a
right?
magazine. Been there for 10 years. He's kind of portrayed as this adult child, not really down on his luck, but like Nick said, not living up to his
Just
true
kinda
potential.
coasting.
Yeah.
He's in love with an editor.
Yeah, what's her name?
Um,
Man.
is it Jan?
No.
Your Majesty?
Can't remember.
Zach's gonna look up names for us as we go through this.
Obviously,
It's gonna be
this
great.
movie was quite memorable.
Well, no, I don't remember names. That's
I
dumb.
don't either.
And so he wants to impress her, so he lies about writing credentials, and then she's like, "Oh, I didn't know you were a travel writer. Write something about one of your travels."
Darcy Silverman.
Darcy.
Wow, I was not even
Darcy.
close.
I remembered it
You were
something
way
not
off.
Which
very
is bad because in my notes I have her named Jane.
Wait, was the princess
Nope.
named Jane?
No.
Nope, that's
okay.
Princess
There's
Mary.
Nobody named
Yeah,
Jane. in the
guys,
movie
shut up.
at all. Sorry.
And so he goes home and he plagiarizes something and hands it in. Plagiarizes, hands it in to impress the girl. She's gobsmacked by it. Sends him to the Bermuda Triangle, a piece about, and to a store and goes through this whole wormhole, whirlpool kind of thing. Ends up with a bunch of tiny people around.
In a kingdom.
Yes,
of
he.
tiny people.
But he's still his normal size, so he kind of becomes like a god to them. He can do anything.
Yeah, he's like huge.
Yeah, and then there's some inner conflict in the city between him and the kingdom's general at the time, and then there's a war going on between other tiny humans, and through that all, Jack Black's character, or Gulliver, I'm gonna call him Lemuel. Lemuel,
Mule.
kind of falls out of grace because he admits that he lied to the kingdom about his stature in America.
Yeah,
He
took
said he
all
was the
his-
president. He said he took credit for Sweet
High
Child.
five.
Would any of us do anything different?
No.
Yeah, right.
Like, come on, that's sick. Happenstance, Darcy ends up having to do the travel piece with him because she found out that he plagiarized, and now she can't trust him. She goes through the same whirlpool, wormhole thing.
Somehow he still gets cell service on this mysterious island.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Well, actually, he didn't have service. He just got voicemails,
Yeah.
like on the way to the island, maybe. There's another confrontation between him and had gotten into it earlier, and
The guy builds a giant robot
General builds a giant robot.
because he saw Jack Black's magazine that said how to build a giant robot.
That's true. I skipped over that. This isn't a great.
He gets,
Right.
when he falls out of grace with the kingdom, they banish him, and he gets sucked into, he goes
Oh,
through
yeah.
the fog and goes to another island
Which really
that's,
confused me.
Yeah, with like a bigger girl, and then
that's
he was
like
a
full of
tiny human.
giants, and so
Yeah,
he's
like
a tiny
still regular
person.
size.
Yeah, and a dead Air Force pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's gianter than him.
Yeah, and there's no parents around. It's just her.
Yeah, that part was kind of weird.
It was very weird.
I'd like, I should have watched the original to see how it compares.
I don't.
Because I bet you it's not even close.
Probably
It's not.
Yeah.
Probably.
I
not.
mean, the tiny people is,
Right, the basic
yeah.
premise of it.
So yeah. And then eventually he beats the giant robot.
Yeah, there's a lot of wedgies involved.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he falls back into the king's good grace. Lemuel and Darcy go back home, and enter a romantic relationship because he's been in love with her for
As
5
one
years.
does when you get sucked through wormholes to
Of course.
magical lands.
And after writing magazine travel articles.
Yeah, he gets out of the mailroom.
Yeah,
Not that there's anything wrong with being in the
there's
mailroom.
nothing wrong with
but
being in the mailroom. Elf makes it look fun.
You
Um,
get to get drunk and do Russian dances down there.
on the table.
and synopsis of Kung Fu Panda. Who wants that
It
one?
actually kind of starts out in a similar way where he's like a dude who's kind of immature. Well, when
Yeah.
I say dude, I mean panda. He's just another guy who's not really living up to his dreams and living up to his potential. He's a panda. He works in his dad, who is a bird. So he works
A
in their
goose.
restaurant,
We're gonna cover that later too.
and he really wants to be a kung fu fighter.
Master.
And he idolizes these guys. What do they call them? The something five?
Yeah.
The
The Furious
Fat
Five.
something like
I think
that.
it's Furious Five,
There's
something like
five
that.
of them. And so somebody's gonna have to help me out here. He manages to find his way to the temple all by happenstance.
During this big celebration where
There
the
Picking the chosen one.
main, head kung fu master guy is going to determine who the dragon warrior, who's this
Dragon warrior, thank you.
prophesied,
That's right.
this prophesied warrior, and he's going up just to try to get in and watch.
Sell noodles because his dad wants him to as well.
Yeah, his dad runs the noodle shop. So by some random happenstance, he ends up getting blown up by fireworks and stuff. and
straps
dropping
himself
out
to
of the
fireworks.
sky. Yeah.
So he straps fireworks to his chair, and then he falls out of the sky, and the master's like, "Leave the actual
Dragon Warrior.
when he's really just a big fat panda who doesn't know how to do anything.
Ugh,
And then
that resonates with me.
So then obviously he starts, training. And also at the same time, the big bad villain who was the former, pupil, who was like the prodigy, who had turned evil and been imprisoned because he turned evil and was like taking over the world.
Who was played by the guy who played the dad in Hot Rod, which I thought was
Yeah.
really funny.
Oh yeah, Ian McShane.
Yeah,
I love Ian
that's awesome.
McShane.
I didn't know that that's
I was like, I know
who
that
the
voice
voice
from
was.
somewhere.
My favorite thing is that you said he plays the dad in Hot Rod and not like he was in Deadwood.
Yeah.
He was in. I mean, this was at.
Priorities are.
Yes.
Really.
Listen,
Just-
Hot Rod is another fantastic
I
movie
love Hot Rod.
that we could do a movie review of at some point.
Totally. I'd love to do that.
But so that guy that is breaking out of prison and coming for his revenge, and like nobody can stop him. He's this wild kung fu prodigy. So they're relying on like the dragon. Remember what his name is, but the big bad.
It
And,
began with a T. I'm almost certain.
Tai Lung or something like that.
It is
Yeah. Everybody was Kung Fu Panda.
Ding.
Yes. Angelina Jolie was Tigress?
Yeah.
Oh, you're totally right. It is Tai Lung. I
Wow.
would have never gotten that right.
Dang, you're good.
I'm a Kung Fu Panda fan.
My favorite actor in that movie, though, is David Cross as the crane. I loved
Yeah.
him. Oh my god, I thought he was so funny in that.
So, the movie's about his journey as the actual Dragon Warrior because he just mistakenly dropped in to this situation and got dubbed. To him training and failing and
It's a tale of perseverance.
right.
That's
and
true.
people like being like, no, you can't do it. And the Furious Five, all the trained masters going up against the bad guy, and all of them getting like defeated to where Poe is the only hope left, and
Overcoming the odds.
him finding like unlock his,
Fulfilling your destiny.
kung fu
Living
powers.
your dreams. I'm running out of inspirational
I'm-
things to say.
I'm trying to find a fun fact here, and I'm just having
A fun
issues.
fact about the movie?
Kind of.
Uh-oh.
I have a few
Uh-oh.
Jack Black fun facts.
Hold on. Pause for dogs.
Uh-oh.
There's no pause for dogs. I can't edit this out.
We've had a light issue. Wait, if we just sit exactly like we were when it happened.
We tried that in the Christmas episode.
I thought the edit was not bad.
It wasn't bad.
There we go. Right in the old eyes there. Sounds like a good time for our first Jack Black fun fact.
Do it.
His real name is actually Thomas. Thomas Jacob Black.
I feel like I read that once when I was a teenager and forgot immediately.
Yeah. He eventually went by Jack, obviously.
Yeah. It flows better. No, what I realized is the guy who plays Zhang, who's in it for a short time, and then Mr. Ping. So Dan Fogler plays Zhang, and James Hong plays Mr. Ping, and they're the two actors in Balls of Fury.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Dan Fogler plays like the ping pong guy, and Mr. Ping plays the blind grandfather, the girl that
Really?
like he falls in love with.
That's awesome. Yeah, there was some recognizable faces in that. There was Jackie Chan was the monkey.
Yep.
Yes, man, there's a lot of stuff with that. So do we want to get down to some fun facts about the movies, like our impressions of them all?
Yes. Which
Yeah,
one
which
are we
one?
starting with?
Let's start with Gulliver's Travels.
Okay.
So I wrote a few things down.
I'm going to say first off, I actually enjoyed this more than it seems the rest of the world did.
I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, probably because it was so like vehemently spoken against as like a horrible movie.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's a mid 2000s Jack Black movie.
Right.
Like, what do you want?
I just thought it was like funny and relatable. Like he's playing Sweet Child of Mine there, pretending he wrote it. Like he's going through, he has them all a made up theater. He's watching Star Wars and Titanic.
Yeah.
I'm like that resonates with me as someone who grew up in the 2000s.
See, so I had an interesting, I guess, reaction or response to this movie. One, for the reason that I have seen the original. Well, not the original, not the 1939, but like the 1996 Gulliver's Travel movie that was more popular. So I think,
I didn't even know there was one.
yeah. So I
no idea.
think that kind of tainted my ability to enjoy this movie because I was watching it and I was like, this is not Gulliver's Travels.
Yeah, it seemed like they took it and tried to like modernize it for the time.
Yeah. But I was looking at it and I was like, if this movie was not trying to recreate another story, I think I would have loved this movie and thought it was funny and hilarious.
Yeah.
But because I know the original story, I was like, you're taking a story and like almost dumbing it, throwing Jack Black's antics into a story, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I see why I didn't like it. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
especially if you know the original
Yeah, I get it.
story.
I kind of looked at it from the opposite. Jack Black in these movies. So I was like, which is a more Jack Black-esque movie? And I
That's a
thought
good
that
point.
I thought that he was like the impression that
Definitely.
in this movie,
Yeah.
because it wasn't geared to as young of an audience. You know, there's like some crass humor. There's some swearing. It's still definitely like a younger
There's him
audience.
peeing on people.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. I was like, it is. I thought
That was the thing I put down. It was really funny.
Yeah, Jay Miller was in it. I love him.
When just the interview process.
Yeah.
When it's like, I forget what Jack Black said or Lemuel said, whatever. It's like, people are born in 1990, and TJ Miller's like, yeah, well, people born are every year. So he's like, good, you're hired. And TJ Miller's like, I was hired yesterday by Human Resources. Then at the end of the day, he's like, by the way, I'm your boss now.
Yeah, when Jack Black is in there playing Guitar Hero on the clock.
And the comments that he says as he's walking out and like the scene's ending, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna be making some changes. First of which is no Guitar Hero during work hours.
I thought it was funny. There was little things in it, and Jason Segel is in it. That surprised me. I
Yeah.
had no idea he was in it.
That was fun. I like Jason Segel and Emily Blunt.
And
That was
Emily
great.
Blunt, she did a
She was
fantastic
good in
job.
it, too.
And what's her name? Fran from the. Is it Fran from The Office?
Yes,
She comes in later
Yep.
seasons. Yeah.
I don't remember her. Who was she?
She was the king. She was the queen, the king's wife.
Oh yes, I knew I recognized her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And then
okay.
Billy Conley, like,
Yeah.
who's just
Yes.
a powerhouse actor. Like, there's some giant names in this movie.
Yeah, overall, I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I laughed more than I thought. Like, I actually sat there and laughed at it.
Same. Some of it I was like, all right, that's just kind of stupid, but
And that actually makes me enjoy it
Yeah.
more. Because I think I came at it originally from I'm looking at it from the story of Gulliver's Travels.
Right.
And that made me like, this is just like dumbing down but
It's like
looking
ruining
at
the
it,
source material.
Right.
basically, Yeah.
but looking at it from this is a Jack Black movie, which obviously but there, even with that other perspective, I did enjoy a lot of parts of it. Now that we're talking about it, I'm enjoying more stuff as I'm thinking through the
Yeah.
movie because of
Obviously, if we're gonna say which of, I think
Kung
obviously
Fu
Kung Fu Panda is a better movie.
listen, we gotta get to the grading to
True.
decide which is the better movie.
that's true.
That's why that's why the grading is going to be structured and not just pure opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Opinions, all that matters.
See, my third note, when he's going through the storm on the boat, this was so funny because us, like me, Jamie, Jordan, Jovo, and a couple other friends were out on a boat. Like, I had a tube to be pulled behind the boat, and I behind the boat, and so it immediately
Just like
popped.
an inner tube and
Yeah, it immediately popped. And so we're out on this boat. We were looking forward to tubing. We're like, what do we do? So we took every life vest, and I'm gonna ask Joe if I can include the picture for during the video. He might not want it for valid reasons. We put every life vest we could have, and then Joe jumped off the boat and just held onto a rope with all the life preservers on.
So
And-
it was a human tube.
Yeah, he
basically.
was just a human tube, and I just got really loud in my ears. But yeah, he was a human tube.
The life preservers.
Yeah, well, because
Careful, kids. Life preservers
'cause-
can make you drown.
like
Well,
we
too many.
we-
Too many of a good thing. It's
yeah
terrible
we
thing.
booked it, and then as soon as I saw him put all them on, I just searched
Yeah.
travels. I'm like, yeah, Joe did not die
Yes,
flourishing.
he's alive and well.
And this Black's butt crack in the movie. Body
I
double.
would believe
Is he
that
too
Jack
famous
Black
for that?
would be fine with
Okay,
that.
I've
Out
seen
there.
I've seen videos in the like TikTok, Vine, YouTube era of Jack Black running around in the buff.
Yeah,
I'm
he's got no problem being in his underwear and
So
stuff.
what you're
and
saying
wearing
is-
tighties.
What
like
you're saying is you can identify Jack Black by his butt crack.
no.
I think that's what he
Line of
said.
4 butt cracks.
Yeah, that's
Could you
definitely what he
pick
said.
Jack
Craig.
I
Black's butt crack out of the
definitely-
lineup?
I definitely could not, but to put it out there, he is comfortable with his body.
That's very
Totally.
true.
And
Do you think he charged more for butt crack?
Yes,
I know I would.
I
If
definitely
you
would.
want to see crack, I need a little bit of extra dough.
hey,
Arguably, you show butt crack because you
That is true. I'm feeling
instant genuine question that popped into my head when I saw the butt crack. I was
That is a
like,
good question.
do you think it's like he's not above that? That's
That
Jack
is a-
Black.
That's a thought that would never occur to me. Like the
I was
movie
gonna
magic
say-
still works on me enough where I'm like, it's just a given that it's his butt crack for me.
yep, none of those thoughts popped into my mind.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay, we already touched on the peeing on the fire, but I think that's worth mentioning.
Yeah.
definitely.
To put that to mention, I'm pretty sure that's actually also in the original.
The peeing on the fire?
Is peeing
Really?
to put out the fire.
That's-
All the things
That's
that
sick.
you could have told me were not including the technology stuff. The peeing the fire out would not be the thing.
But think about it. If
Although
you
if it
were a
was a
giant
sunfire.
human and these tiny people's houses are on fire and you can't find a source of water.
I mean, you say you can't find a source of water. He was like 4 giant steps from the ocean.
That's fair.
That was my thought. I was like, just grab some water.
That's what I was like,
with your
oh,
hands and-
He's gonna go to the ocean, like put it in his mouth or something.
Yeah,
and just be like,
something like that.
but that part made me laugh because again, my brain went right to like that's James Corden and Billy Connolly.
Right.
I watching the script then be like, all right, guys, in this scene, Jack Black is gonna pee on you,
Right.
A giant
and it's
Jack
gonna be
Black.
hilarious. And then Billy Connolly, who's been in so many movies, is just like, yes. Accent, but I can't, so never
Yeah.
mind. Or
It's
Irish
hard to
accent.
with one word.
Yeah.
Especially yes, I mean.
Yes. Nope, that's not it. That wasn't close. All right, you guys are laughing. You try it. Irish accent with yes. No. If you're gonna laugh that hard, do it.
Scottish accent.
No, because I know I can't
Do it.
Like, what are they going to feed him? How do they possibly have enough food for someone?
Yeah.
that
How do
big?
how do you
Right.
get full?
And he picks up that, well, what to them was a
Oh,
big
yeah,
punch bowl,
goblet.
and he picks it up and is like,
It's just like
and I'm like, that would have been like, it's not
barely
even a
enough to wet
shot.
his whistle.
Yeah, it's like a couple drops.
I have down. He yells when the general who doesn't like Lemuel brings down the city's defenses, and so the enemy city can attack, walk out, and really fend off this attacking city. And so he like wades out into the water, shirtless. It's Baywatch
'Cause they're
esque,
attacking
really.
from the sea. With
Yeah,
like,
they're attacking from the sea. I guess
ships.
that's important.
It's like 1700s kind of like
Cannons,
pirate
and,
ship
yeah.
style.
and so he goes out there, and they open fire with the cannons on him, and obviously it doesn't hurt him because he's so huge. And I'm pretty sure that's the point where he like says, "I'm invincible," and when Boris from GoldenEye,
I don't remember.
remember that?
No,
Mhm.
I don't either.
the game or the movie.
The movie. He goes, "I am invincible," and
Bell.
he dies. He's not. Oh, okay. Well,
Edit this part out.
no, we're not because that's a great reference, and it's not my fault. You guys don't know it.
I did think it was funny though. In both movies, there was a scene that made a point of something bouncing off of his belly.
Yes.
So, but that's also kind of I'm in like every movie.
Yeah, that's. I just thought it was funny. They're like, oh yeah, it's Jack Black. We got a funny chubby guy. Let's bounce
Because
something
I'm
off his belly."
sexy and chubby, man.
Yeah.
You're fat and you have body odor. See me after class. School of Rock quotes.
I see you have music written down. I agree.
Yeah, the
there
music
Oh, the
and
music
score.
was great. Yeah,
was awesome.
I
and
almost
that's
made that
to
a
be
grading
expected
criteria.
with Jack Black.
Yeah,
You know.
for sure. He also plays matchmaker, or he tries to be. What's that movie? With Will Smith? Doesn't work because he gives horrible advice.
Yeah,
I do
for the
realize
peasant
kind
and
of
the
that-
princess.
But it does work eventually.
It works eventually, but it works when Jason Segel's like, "Hey man, your advice sucked. I'm gonna be myself."
yeah.
Yes.
So
I actually really did love.
Watch out for now. Never mind. I mean, see, I called her Jane right there, and you can tell I was taking notes as I watched.
like Tarzan.
Maybe, what's her name? Darcy. You can tell I was writing notes while I watched the movie because I literally said when Gulliver sees her imprisoned and all the little people, the miniature people,
Yeah.
the
Maybe we
miniature
should
people,
edit that out too.
the miniature people. And then, like, it goes off to him fighting the mech robot. And I typed,
Right.
why wouldn't Gulliver free Darcy to make it 2 versus 1 against the mech? And then ... because it shows Darcy off to the sides. Oh, he did ... Why isn't she helping him?
Yeah,
Because it's his fight.
It
He's
doesn't
got to
matter.
prove
Yeah.
himself.
but I feel like that dude may have killed him.
Yeah.
If
Well,
given
yeah,
the
but it also
opportunity.
came out like that dude was cheating too, because he like.
Yeah, he had the
electrified.
lightning, electric. Yeah,
Although,
But
was it
Jason
cheating?
Segel's character went
did.
and helped him.
he
So.
did. I did think that. I think it was that scene where she's like off in the back watching. That was pretty bad CGI.
Yeah,
Her
it
in the
was.
back
Oh, for
back
sure.
there. I was trying to be as generous as I could. I was like, this movie came out. Late
They were the end
2000s.
of the budget.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. I can't.
There actually, yeah, there was not a lot of great CGI
Yeah,
in that
some of
movie.
the
There was
CGI
some
was
wonky
not
stuff.
good.
No.
I
They
did.
spent all their budget on getting good actors, I guess.
That's true.
Factual.
I did still like going back to the shirtless fight against all the boats. All the cannonballs hit him and then bounce off and hit like half the boats, and then he's like, "Oh wait, I'm big," and he just grabs all of them by their anchor lines and just drags all the boats out. I love that where
Yeah.
he's just like,
Yeah.
"Oh."
I liked when
Well-
he first went out there. He was like, "Hey guys, they want me to tell you, but I really don't want to do that. And you guys don't want to get destroyed, so I'm just gonna pretend, and you guys can turn around and be like, oh no, we retreat.' And of course they didn't, but
But he's just sitting there like
Yeah, just splashing
splashing.
yeah, like I used to do in the pool when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, sell it, make it look good.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that just about covers it. Should we get to the grading here?
I mean, do we
Anybody-
want to mention the island with the giant child girl? That was a really
What do we
weird,
mention about it?
disjointed
I mean, if you guys
part.
have something to talk about, that was just weird.
I
And
was
it's
just really confused by that. Is that anything like that in the original or the old
I mean, if I remember correctly, in the original, he goes to 2 different islands, and one's miniature people where he's a giant, and then he goes to miniature people among giants.
So it is kind of similar.
But there was more to it than just he
Yeah, 'cause
gets
that was like a 10-minute scene. right?
yeah, where he gets
So-
captured by this giant child put in her dollhouse. The like there were parts that I enjoyed, but overall it was kind of a wonky. Not my favorite.
yeah. I mean, we can do decimals here, by the way.
I was just
Do you want to stick?
6.34. I'm just
No.
kidding. No, stick with 6.
How many
Six.
decimals can we go?
I would give it a 5, probably a 5.3, if I'm being honest. Give it a 5.3 because I did enjoy it, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, so I'll just leave it at. I did enjoy it.
Okay. I was gonna give it a 7.6.
Okay.
I liked it. I thought it was pretty funny. It entertained me.
Okay. Next up is the enjoyment not enjoyment, rewatchability.
I'm gonna give it a 1. I probably won't watch it again. Maybe, but
Yeah.
probably not.
This one's tough for me because I'm at a point in my life where I like really don't rewatch a lot of things. But if someone hadn't seen it and they were like, "Hey man, I really want to watch this movie," I'd probably watch it again. So I'll give it like a 4.
Okay, give it a 4. Yeah, I was gonna give it a 3, like just a flat 3. Because I don't know, I just feel like I'm gonna indoctrinate my child to watch Jack Black, and
Yeah.
this is an easy movie to start out with because it is for the most part child appropriate.
Yeah.
Quotability. So how many quotes can we take from this movie and use in our daily lives?
So, the way I think about it, honestly, there's not very many quotes from this movie that pop up. Like when I watch Jumanji with Jack Black, like all of those movies, instantly there are quotes,
Yeah, there are some quotes from those movies that you've only seen the movie one time,
and
the
it
quotes
is
stick
it
out
is
and you
in
remember.
your head. This one, I gotta give it another 1. Like even as I was watching the movie and thinking about quotes, like nothing stuck to where right now, all I can think of is boosh.
Boosh was a good one.
Yeah.
And
Are
that's
you gonna
the
stick
only
with
quote.
one though?
I'm gonna stick with 1. It's not very
Yeah.
quotable.
Yeah, I feel like because a lot of the things he does, he's already quoting something that's happened, but he's saying
Right.
it to the island people that
Right.
don't know it. So in terms of original quotability, I would also give it a 1.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Wow, look at we got a unanimous decision.
Our
And
first unanimous.
I'm gonna try to have these written up in cool looking scorecards that I'll put on the video as well.
on the screen. Where are they gonna
Um,
be?
Or we
Are they
can
gonna be up
Olympic
here? Are they gonna be
style
down
hold
here?
up
It's,
our
it's gonna be
scores.
the full screen.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's gonna like cut out our faces.
That's good because if I hold
Yeah.
up my score, people will see my armpit sweat, and I don't want that.
Yeah. Wow, that's what I would look like. Do I have armpit sweat right
No,
now?
I can't see it through that.
Sweet, guys. The sand, crew necks don't show armpit
Perfect
sweat.
for disguising your armpit sweat.
They
And
look fire.
and fun fact, I figured out a new way for shipping and printing, so prices did come down a little bit. Check
Or
out
if
the
you
Etsy
wanna pay
store.
extra, Zach will armpit sweat into one of them.
Factual,
true.
factual
You can
statement.
get it
If you want,
for yourself.
Yes,
it's like a custom, personalized.
yes, my natural musk. Storyline. This is a tough one for this, I think,
This one's
because it's not an
tough.
original story.
Right.
right. And do you grade it on the overall storyline, which, like we just said, is not an original story, or do you grade it on what they did
Right.
with the way that they
I
modified
think-
the
I mean, in my
storyline,
opinion,
You have to do it that one.
I've
the
never-
modifications?
I've never seen the original, so I don't know. I was gonna give it its own standalone.
Yeah, I'd say standalone. Even if you know the story and the storyline has changed, like we're not comparing it to the original storyline. The storyline that is in this movie,
Right.
how much do you
Right.
like it?
So I would say I actually do like the storyline. I do like the concept of this, traveling and getting sucked into, this wormhole, whatever, warp to different lands with different. It's a cool concept, and I like I said, I think the one thing that kind of got me was the differences between more. So I'll give it a 7 for a storyline. I think it's an interesting concept.
Zach is not a fan of decimals, apparently.
No,
Guess not.
You guys only did decimals on your first ones.
that's true.
Fair, but still, that's
Ha!
one more than you. I did like the storyline as well. Like that was one of the I don't want to say redeeming qualities because again, I don't think it was a bad movie.
Yeah.
So I would give the storyline like it had good. I mean, it was. You could predict that there was going to be a peak, then he was going to get caught, and there was going to
Right.
be a trow, and then it was going to culminate at the climax, and it was all going to be great. So
Well, that's also basic storytelling.
I like the Titanic one where
Yeah.
he's
I
like,
did
"Wait a minute,
too.
you died?" He's like,
Survived?
"Yeah, but they resuscitated me. I did die,
Well-
but they brought me back to life."
And the fact that he passed those stories off not as like, oh, is how would the movie be without Jack Black in his role?
I think we should rephrase it and say, how important is Jack Black to the movie?
Jack Black's role in
You
this.
know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
because that,
Because then we can
I
give
think
a
that
number.
his importance, like, if the movie would have sucked without him.
Yes.
Right? Is that what we're going?
Yeah.
with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I say it like that so I don't have to delete
Yeah.
as much?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's perfect.
So, I think the way that this movie was written to be a comedic telling of a modern, hundreds years old story. I don't think anybody else could have done it like Jack Black.
Yeah, I
Like you
agree.
take Seth Rogen and put him in there. you
Yo,
know,
that's
you
who I was
take-
thinking of too.
You know,
Yeah.
none of they wouldn't pull it off the way
Right.
that you take Zach Galifianakis.
Not up
and
to the
stuff.
standard, at
Yeah,
least.
it would
Right.
not have been. I think Jack Black, for the way that they wrote this movie, was absolutely essential. So I will give it a 9.9.
Wow.
I'm not going to give it a perfect 10. And there's your decimal.
It's tough because I feel like I should give it a 10 because that's what I believe. But I feel like,
Do a good job,
yeah,
but not obviously the same. Black, this movie
Yeah.
would suck. You know.
Yeah.
yeah. I think I'm going to give it an 8, which is still pretty high.
An 8.
I think there are other actors who, if they were in it, I would have still watched
Yeah.
the movie eventually.
It would have been a different feel, but I think it still could have been funny. I'll give it an 8.5. I think that's fair.
All right. Kung Fu Panda. I took less notes because it was a better movie. No, like
Recap. though,
so-
right? Didn't
Yeah, we.
movie more. The first thing I wrote down. What's up with animated films and just any animal can have any animal as a child?
So, hold on.
What?
There's
oh,
a
yeah.
there.
Are you going to say that something in the sequel?
Yes.
I figured because at the end they
Ah.
kind of hint at something because he says like, "How are you my dad?" or "Are you even my real dad?" or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Spoiler alert. He's not. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's adopted.
Ah.
Gotta be.
So
And let me
it's
guess.
it's
Hold on a second. Let me guess. I don't know if I want to guess, but I'm thinking that his actual panda parents were like kung fu masters or
because it's this little goose and this giant big old fat panda.
That answers that.
Okay. I wrote down David Cross as the crane. Which I already
So
talked about.
good.
I love him. He's hilarious.
David Cross is
He
hilarious
just has such a
because he's like bringing. There's a point where like the whole village is gathering up to watch ceremony for the
Coronation of the dragon.
of the dragon warrior, and so Poe, Jack Black's character's name is Poe. His father tells him to take the noodle cart and make a bunch of money selling noodles, and he's like, okay, and he gets in this, like, there's just stairs on stairs. It's like the never-ending staircase in Mario, and it shows him like dragging the cart up, and my first thought was, why doesn't he just sell it at the bottom? But
right before everybody goes in.
yeah,
But then everybody would have to bring their noodles all the way.
yeah, but it's easier for someone
And
to carry a
it's
bowl of
like
noodles than him to do the cart.
Walking up 10,000
I
steps.
also like that they went back and like touched on it a few more times every time he had to go up the stairs.
Yep. And then like picture of, and then it zooms out and he's like 5 stairs up from the bottom,
Yeah.
and I was like, that's funny.
Yeah, I thought that was funny too. I like that part.
So I actually really liked how relatable Poe is as a character.
Yeah.
Because he's really just this, like, he's not a deadbeat because he works in his dad's restaurant, but he's just this kind of like dorky, nerdy kid that's working for his dad's business. Like, he's got action figures of the Furious Five, of the, like, Kung Fu Warriors that he still is like, "Wah, ha," playing with and idolizes them, and yet just,
He's not that dissimilar to Lemuel Gulliver, really.
that's true.
That's true.
Kind of a guy who's just okay with his place in life, and
Well, and then you think about, like, okay, he gets like dubbed the Dragon Warrior and is now in the kung fu, like temple training and stuff, and he's like absolutely fangirling out as
Yeah,
a
he's like-
peer that he's idolized for all these years. Like, how many of us would do that? Like,
right, sneaking around at night, like past their rooms and stuff.
and being like, oh my gosh, would you sign my,
Right,
like.
and he breaks the floor when he's walking around. 'cause he's so
Right.
fat.
Like, it's totally relatable. Like,
Oh,
think
yeah.
about if all of a sudden, like, you get signed to your favorite NFL team,
Right.
and now you're in the locker room with all these, and you're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
oh my god. Like, you would be I would.
I'm
I'd be like,
Jalen Hurts locker, and then I like try to put his jersey on and rip his jersey or something like that.
and then try to secretly put it back without anyone noticing.
Okay, here you go. I want to send to the movie
That's
when
fine.
he does the finger technique.
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
The whooshy finger hold.
Did he kill that dude? Like, he exploded that guy. What happened? They never show him again. And Zach knows, of course, because he's seen the sequels. But I'm like, they just show him because in the beginning, the Master Shifu, right? That's his name, to do it to Poe. And he's like, and he doesn't flex the pinky. Well, at the end, spoiler alert, obviously, Jack Black, and he's like, you know what happens if I flex my pinky, and he does, and that's where the skadoosh line comes.
And
in.
it's like a nuke.
And it just shows this explosion.
Which makes him with like a nuclear nation.
Right, like him at that part too.
Yep, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
So
he
he gets vaporized though.
I don't remember them like specifically addressing it, but like he doesn't come back. He's vaporized.
Guys,
Yeah. Endangered, I feel like they're
Probably
Everything's
every
in
rhino
danger.
is in danger.
guys, humans suck. So yeah, that was it. I mean, there's a clan of rhinos that like guard prison, and I was like, are there even rhinos in Asia? So I'd ask that. This next part that I
just looked that up.
oh, even more nerdy. You do research.
I don't know.
Ufang,
No, I
Ugu?
had it, and then you said that.
guys, Master Oogway has a vision that the evil tiger, what's his name? Gosh,
We're probably like accidentally swearing in another language.
MVP right here. Master coming back, and then literally just pieces out.
Pulls a Master Luke.
Yeah, and he just like disintegrates. He transcends time into the like I defeated him last time. It's not my problem anymore. Bye.
Deuces.
I
Good
was
luck,
like,
guys.
I'm sitting on the couch. I was like, that's selfish, dude.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he did it.
But like,
Yeah.
bruh, what if they didn't answer the call? But then I guess it wouldn't be. I'm one with the earth is with me.
That's a whole other like.
It's a
I love
different
that
universe?
too.
Okay.
I love that movie.
I
I'm
did
one with
like-
the force, and the force is with me.
That was from Rogue One, which I have a funny
I like
story
the Rogue
about.
One. I like that one.
Fantastic movie.
I'm not like a huge Star Wars nerd, but I said not huge. I enjoy that.
I'm going to tell a quick story that Zach isn't going to be able to expound upon. Otherwise, it's a rabbit trail. We were leaving the theater. The two people that were on the beach, and I was like, what? And I was like, that was the point of their movie.
did
They're
she-
sacrificing themselves.
How did she beach and the wall of like laser blast vapors come? And then,
I love my wife. She can hear. She's upstairs.
Oh yeah, yeah. I liked how much of an homage it was to like old school kung fu movies.
I don't know.
I heard a noise.
I heard
No,
a
it's
beep.
fine.
But yeah, I used to growing up love watching old kung fu movies, especially like Jackie Chan movies and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it was really like seriously an
It
homage
was.
to old school kung fu movies.
Yeah, the fight scenes were great.
The fight scenes were, especially the dumpling scene
Yeah.
where he's like,
Oh,
"Oh,
yes.
I'd have one." I was like, that. I was like, this is awesome. This is great.
And the fact that they were able to do cool like classic kung fu movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Like when he's breaking out of the prison, I thought that was awesome too.
Yeah.
It's so over the top, but it is like they
It was
would
so
do that
cool.
stuff in an old kung fu movie.
Yeah.
They would throw spears in the wall and then climb up them and do crazy stuff like
Furious 5 and
Yeah.
so
That was
a
great.
part of that I absolutely just always love and find is hilarious is they're holding the ropes up and eventually they leave it to Mantis,
Mantis.
Yeah.
the tiniest
Yeah.
one, to hold the bridge while the rest of them are fighting on it.
Which that really did not sound like Seth Rogen. I was surprised when I found out.
Really,
it was Seth
he was
Rogen.
he was the first one that I realized like who the voice was. Jackie Chan. It took me forever.
Yeah, and he doesn't talk much in the movie, Jackie Chan.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But Angelina Jolie did not sound like Angelina.
No,
Jolie
I had no
at
idea it was
all.
her until I just looked it up earlier.
Yeah.
This video, which I think that might be what the sound was, like the mem. So it's all fine.
We'll
Everything's fine.
just put up our logo.
Yeah, technical difficulties.
wax on, wax off.
I guess that makes more sense because I was doing more of like a force
Oh.
thing, but then we're talking about a kung fu movie, so maybe
And then the last thing I wrote down.
One of the things I also wanted to hit on was that I know you mentioned like Gulliver's Travels was more of a like Jack Black, but this still was very much Jack Black.
Yeah.
Like
I just feel like he had to tone it down a little bit.
Yeah.
It was a very young target audience.
True.
But like one of the most Jack Black vibes I got was when Shifu was like, I forget the monkey's name. It keeps his cookies on the top. Do that. You did a perfect split. And Poe's just like, I'm just sitting.
I wrote down in the very beginning when he first gets to the training palace place, and he's just getting destroyed by all the training equipment, and then he gets hit in the nuts, and he goes, "Oh, my tenders!" I laughed out loud at that. I wrote that down. My tenders. And now I'm gonna start referring to my tenders whenever that happens.
That's all. Because he still plays up klutzy, like
Totally.
dude, and I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like even the fact when he's climbing the stair collapses,
Right.
or when he's trying to get back up to the top when Tai Lung gets up
I
there.
was
and
just
he's
gonna say that.
And he's racing to like finish the fight, and he gets up to the top, and he's like, "Okay, just give me a couple minutes, catch my breath. Then I'm totally gonna kick your butt." Whoo, okay.
You did that really well.
Yeah, I actually thought you were out of breath for a second.
Yeah, I mean, I'm experienced with being out of breath. I don't know.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I've exercised a lot in my life.
Okay. Weird flex, but okay.
Wow.
Nerd. Anything else you want to add there?
I think that is it. Yeah.
All right. Do we want to grade this bad boy?
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
It was
I'm gonna give it real grades.
All right. So first, the enjoyment of Kung Fu Panda. Let's go this way. Nick goes first now.
I think a lot of the humor was not lost on me, but it's definitely like geared towards a younger audience, which I can still appreciate. But I just felt like Gulliver's Travels was like geared more towards like my age group and the time I grew up. But I still
Okay.
enjoyed this quite a bit. I'll give it a
I
7.
feel you.
I'll give it a solid
Okay.
7.
I mean, that's a great score.
And that's just my personal enjoyment. Like I said, I definitely think this is clearly a better movie than Gulliver's Travels.
Yeah.
But based on my subjective enjoyment of it.
I'm also going to enjoy it, and yeah, I give it a 7.
0.5. Like, it's not a perfect movie, but I really love this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It was good. I'm glad I saw it.
All right. Now, rewatchability, Nick.
I think I would be more likely to rewatch this than I would Gulliver's Travels.
Oh, for sure.
And I think there would be a lot of little things that I would pick up on that I missed the first time. What did I put? I put 4 for that. I'll probably give this one.
Honestly, I'm going to give the rewatchability, which seems to... It's weird to give rewatchability a height.